Hey, real quick before the proper video starts. So there's a timestamp if you just want to skip and see the tier list itself. The rest of the video will be discussion. As always with all tier lists, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but I gotta say this. Tier lists are a personal thing. It's a mix of, my experiences, my preferences, my biases, what I know, my knowledge, all that kind of stuff, right? So it is plenty okay to not agree with my tier list. You don't need to freak out if I have a character too high or too low to your personal preference. This is just totally my idea. This is what I think where the game is at currently right now, kind of as we're ending the end of Season 1. Season 2, we'll have to start the process all over again because that's just how that works, I guess. But yeah, so timestamp there if you need it. Enjoy the video and watch this guy gracefully just go into the water and on to the rest of his life. Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, and this will be my final tier list for Season 1 for Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now, what you're looking at right now is not the tier list at all, so please get that out of your head. It is not the tier list. What it is the old tier list. Now, when I made the old tier list, the patch that we are now playing with got announced like not even 24 hours after I posted that tier list, basically invalidating it right away. So will there be things different from what you're seeing right now to where we're going to be working our way towards? Yes, absolutely. But there are going to be some things that are just going to be the same. Like, let's say Super Saiyan Goku. I like him where he is. He ain't going to be moving. So not everyone's going to move, but some people are going to move. Now, if you looked at the disclaimer at the start of the video, and if you didn't, please watch. Tier lists are a very personal thing. This is a combination, obviously, my experiences, my personal opinions and biases and all that kind of stuff. It is both an effect of how strong I think a character is, and I'm taking the assist to mine for overall character strength. And obviously, where just the meta is shifting, because the meta has kind of shifted, especially in recent weeks. I don't know what I'm doing here. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. So the first thing, let's start with this here. The fabled Beerus tier. Beerus tier has been Beerus tier for a while. Used to be Nappa tier, but then quickly turned into Beerus tier. And as of the latest patch, that kind of got resolved. Is Beerus amazing? Well, not really. But is he Beerus tier anymore? Well, no, he isn't. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rename Beerus tier to Android 17 tier. So Android 17 is definitely pound for pound now the worst character in the game. I kind of had him and Blue Vegeta on roughly the same edging, but if you have to weigh them together, Android 17 is definitely worse than him. So where's Beerus? Well, Beerus, he's still using the well-rounded has fault system. He still definitely has faults, but his combo ability is better. He has real Oki now off of level 3, especially in the corner. So we're going to be moving him just a little bit closer to mid-tier. So what we're going to be doing here is moving him here. Now, since we already moved base Goku down a notch, I think base Goku is better than a lot of characters, a lot of people say that he is. Obviously, he still isn't very good in the end. So what we're going to do here is just moving down a notch. I'm not really seeing anything impressive out of him lately. I still think he's not wretched. Like, a lot of people will put him right down here with 17. I wouldn't, but neither am I going to rate him very highly. And while we're here just down in the dumps, Blue Vegeta, he isn't very good. We've been over this many times, like, yeah, I know he has certain mix-ups and all that with certain assists, but hey, he has certain mix-up with assists, she has mix-ups with assists, he has mix-up with, like, who doesn't have mix-ups with assists, right? Like, so for right now, we're going to leave these guys in the bad boys club. Now, so moving from the bottom tier, and we're just going to kind of just go up and down as we do this here. Bardock. Top tier? Not anymore. Bad? No, he's still very good. What we're going to do is we're just going to move him off to the side for a hot moment. And let's just do this. Let's just get real. He's earned it. We're here. So Piccolo, on top of being buffed, obviously since the patch, the meta has absolutely shifted his way. So snapback meta, mix-ups, all that kind of stuff, it's just much more prevalent. It can really put you in the blender really bad. And even very recently, as of the time of this recording, things like Apology Man posted, here's how you get out of it, and then it was like debunked an hour later. It's like, oh, all I have to do is a ground Dragon Rush instead of an air Dragon Rush, and then you're just back in the blender the same way you used to be. As someone who's been up against it a few times, it ain't fun. You basically just have to hold that and guess and guess and guess and guess and guess and guess till you finally guess right. And if you guess wrong, hey, back in the blender, roll the dice. It's basically like a Street Fighter 4 Vortex. My personal hope, because I don't mind fighting characters have strong things, but I hate fighting things that aren't fun. and especially things that aren't fun for a very long time because you just have to keep staying in the blender for a very long time. I kind of hope it doesn't survive season 2. That's just personal preference. That's personal bias. But what it is Piccolo undeniably now is a very, very strong character. Now, Bardock, I think he just slips one tier down. That's it. I think Bardock's still an absolutely fantastic character. Level 3 mix obviously isn't as strong, like mid-screen and all that kind of stuff. But everything else besides that level 3, hey, it's still really, really good, right? So Bardock to me is just one step below. Now, speaking of the people who are one step below, Gotenks is still absolutely a ridiculous character. He got changed a little bit, but doesn't affect where he is. Not only is he still one of the better characters in the game, one of the best characters in the game, when it comes to has faults well-rounded, he's so good, he's off the chart. Super Saiyan Vegeta, he's unchanged, basically, so is where it is. Now, 16, he got hurt. He got hurt bad. I still think he's good. Like, I am dropped him. I'm still playing 16, right? But it's undeniable he got a good punch in the gut. So when it comes to his overall usefulness, like the block stun on the assist was one really big thing, and it does make it, you know, a lot less useful because it's not even like a really short block stun, like say like a Trunks or something. Like Trunks, the very short block stun is very good in like other situations, but just it's very middling now when it used to be very high. Obviously, the level 3 is not quite as good as it used to be, and just like a lot of little stuff like that. So he absolutely has to drop down the tier list. So when it comes to dropping down the tier list, he's not going to fall a lot. Like he's definitely not like down here. But when it comes to, you know, just his overall placement, I will have to put him now just slightly down, as he's absolutely gotten crippled with the nerfs he got. He's not wretched, but he definitely is going down a notch. Now that we've just kind of moved Zamasu out of the way to just kind of make room for 16, let's just have a greater look at this kind of overall area we have here. So like someone like Tien, someone like Goku, I still think they are where they are. They're both fake great characters. They just do everything. Like Goku especially, like Super Saiyan Goku's the proof of this game. You don't need a low hitting down light to succeed, because Super Saiyan Goku is one of the best characters in the game. I don't think he's wildly the best or anything, but he's a workhorse. You slap Super Saiyan Goku on basically the end of any given team, he will do work. He will do you proud, because he is just a complete character. Not the best, but he doesn't really need much more than what he has, other than, you know, if you would just make him overpowered, right? But yeah, so we move Zamasu, so let's just rethink where a lot of characters are right now. First up here, since we're just on this line here, Teen Gohan took a hit, like straight up. Teen Gohan took a hit. He is not as good as he used to be in the eyes of many players. I'll be the first to admit I'm not a Teen Gohan player. I don't know much. I know a lot about a lot of the characters, but Teen Gohan's always been a little of a blind spot for me. And all I can say is I know a lot of people ain't happy. And not only are they not happy, they're really not happy, as a lot of old setups just don't work the way they worked before. So what we're going to be doing here is just moving him down to just a solid mid-tier now. He still has the damage, he still has a lot of setups, still has invincible reversal, but we will be moving him down. Now, with that said as well, we will be moving Android 18 just a little bit up. Since the snapback meta is a lot more prevalent now, it's very strong. She's basically the second biggest abuser besides Piccolo himself. So while it's not a drastic movement, and she definitely still has faults, she's really good at it, and you're definitely in the blender a lot. So we'll just be moving her ever so slightly upwards. And speaking of moving people up, and I'm just going to move Zamasu here out of the way again. He's just pesky. Don't worry. We'll find a home for him soon here. Character that has gone up a bit here is Frieza. So Frieza, the patch helped out a bit here. It's not game changers, like it doesn't, you know, affect the core of everything, but it certainly helped. And what helped even more than the patch is just a lot of people figuring out tech. A lot of people, there's more eyes on Frieza than there used to be, and there's a lot more discovery since then, right? So I feel very comfortable moving Frieza up just a little bit here, because Frieza is above, to my opinion, a mid-tier character. And when I put Frieza as a mid-tier character before, people were like calling for my head, and now I think everyone's starting to realize, like, oh hey, yeah, Frieza's pretty alright. And now for some more shifting to the side, Broly finally got a real answer in his 2H against the small characters, and that helps with matchups more than, if you don't play Broly, man, you guys don't even know that. It's like some of the most frustrating stuff in the world, right? And for that, and that alone, And on top of the armor changing me a little bit faster, honestly, that's not a very big deal. Like, some people like make it sound like, oh, Broly's like up here now. It wasn't really that big of a deal in the end. But just for the quality of life change, I'm going to be moving Broly over finally to just the middle of the pack here. Obviously, he still has a lot of faults, but he has a lot of strong strength, right? He's a very feast or famine character in a lot of ways, but now I feel very comfortable just moving them just flat out in the middle here. And also, I've been seeing a lot of impressive stuff out of a lot of Majin Buu players. I do think, still very strongly, has faults, especially because he's very reliant on team comp, but I've seen a lot of like just strong neutral and all of that in manners I never even really thought of. And for me, because once again, all tier lists are kind of based off your personal impressions and all that kind of stuff, I was personally like, hey, I don't think he's quite off the edge here of the has fault like old Nappa here. He's still not well-rounded, but I think he's definitely a little bit better off. Now, let's just keep going where we're going at here. So Kid Buu got nerfed a little bit. The pinwheel nerf sucks. He still has mix-ups with assists, but you gotta use the arm ball now. But the really easy brain dead thing's gone. And coupled with a lot of the nerfs he's had in the past, I really gotta just shuffle him down one. Still a good character, still got a lot going for him, but not really as much. Now, that said, I'm gonna swatch this over here a bit, because I do believe he's much more well-rounded than Goku Black, and it's just a placeholder kind of thing, just for the look of the list. I do believe he's a little more rounded than Goku Black, just because he does have all the options, even if the options don't do as much damage as they used to back in the day. But yeah, he's still a good character, but he's been slipping a little bit, because, you know, back in the day, we would put him like right up here, right? Well, he's definitely fallen some then. Now, here's one you might not agree with, or you maybe do. I was singing the praises of Goku Blue before a lot of people, and a lot of people still don't agree. And if you didn't agree, well, then you're going to agree even less now, because we're moving him up one. Goku Blue, the one big change he got was the grab change, and that change kind of matters. It's not like the end of the world, because like his grab in the end is not really any better than Broly's, right? And Broly's is down here, right? But what it does do is give him a really strong option he never had before. There's so many tick setups and all that, and a lot of people like, oh, well, you know, you can just see it happening, all that, and nothing. Only if you are always keeping your eyes open, and the light grab's a lot faster than you think. Like, a lot of times when people say, like, oh, Broly, you can always just see the grab coming, right? They're thinking of the medium grab, not the light. The light's a lot faster than the medium grab, and much the same here for Goku Blue. And you'll always catch somebody sleeping. Doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how whatever. You can only like process so many threats at any one given time, right? Maybe you can look for the jump, maybe you can look for the beam and like one other thing, but if you look for these three things, you're forgetting about the throw, right? You can only process so many threats at so many times, and it just makes him such a better character, and he was already a really good character to begin with. Once again, I don't think it's any better than Broly's, but just the addition of the threat of the grab being so much more real than it was before, especially mid-screen, it just helps so much, and for that, I got to put him up a notch. And now for a bit more mid-card shuffling, we got Cooler here and Android 21. Android 21 actually got some reasonable stuff. The Stand M change is bigger than you think it is if you don't really play her, and the fact you get some more Oki off the level 3 is really nice. And Cooler, while he hasn't really changed, he's, in my opinion, has failed to impress a little bit, and just as much as character strength matters, meta strength matters too for a tier list, right? So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be moving them down here. That said, I do think Vegito is stronger overall than Android 21, so we'll be moving them in this direction here. And Cooler will now just be in the well-rounded category here, and solid mid-tier. Not a bad character by any stretch, but just compared to a lot of the characters above him, like, he's just not as good. Now, let's move our way back down here to low tier. Hit, basically, I just got changes to the supers and all that. And once again, I'll make the same argument I made before. Obviously, I've seen Sonic Fox and some other people just utterly destroy people with Hit. But it's more on the basis of them being really good, and they could pick anybody to win with, versus I think Hit really being the reason the match is being carried. Hit, he's just a character has not a lot going on for him. Like, yeah, Stan M's really good. What else? You know, like, Broly Stan M's really good, and he still doesn't make top tier, right? Just, the fact is, I don't know, I find he's half a character. Maybe in a potential season 2 coming up or something, you might get another move or something, or a new normal or something to fill out the move set. But I don't feel he's a complete character as it stands. Not to say, like, I don't mean, like, literally, like, they didn't put the work in on him, right? But he's not where he needs to be. Like, I feel there's a hole in his moveset. Obviously, he can do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of tricky stuff, but I don't think the needle moves on him right now. Now, what I'm going to do here, though, I'm going to move the needle is Yamcha. So I don't think Yamcha's... Once again, I do take assist strength into account when I make these videos. And the only reason Yamcha's even here from the last video is the assist strength. And he's got some small buffs here. But what I'm going to do is Yamcha is now just going to go straight up here to solid mid. This is I've seen a lot of new stuff with the assist and like certain new fun block strings and pressure situations, and that's what's moving up. Once again, I if you don't like it, you don't like it, right? I don't think Yamcha is a very good character by himself. And the main reason, if you put Yamcha on your team, you got to be real with yourself. Why is Yamcha on your team? It's for the assist. Like that's just getting real with it, right? Yamcha is on your team for the assist. So if you don't use Yamcha, like who uses pointer mid Yamcha? Well, I'm sure a couple of you do, right? But I'm just talking as a generalization. Yamcha is a very strong character overall for the assist in mind. Like the assist is what keeps Yamcha strong. But like you cut the assist out of the package, just look at Yamcha as a whole. Like Yamcha's down here. Like if we just rated this character with no assists in mind at all, he don't hang. But obviously he has one of the best assists, and it only gets better as people figure out new stuff. So Yamcha's here now, solid in the mid, mostly on the back of the assist. Now moving on to Ginyu. Ginyu, he had the gap in his string change. That's about it. So all we're going to be doing is just move him over here. Less has faults. Ginyu as a character, I'm probably, if you watch any amount of tier lists, I'm probably going to put him lower than most people you might see. Just because I firmly believe Ginyu's a feast or famine character. When Ginyu is doing great, Ginyu's like up here. When Ginyu is not going his way, he's like down here. All he is a couple good normals, right? Yeah, I've used the magic term before, but in magic terms, Magic Gathering, he'd be a win more. Like, he looks really strong when you're already winning, but when you're not winning, he's not very impressive. So when it comes to being a complete package, like an adult Gohan, a Super Saiyan Vegeta, or, a Super Saiyan Goku or something, he just isn't a complete package like them. When the station's leaving the train, or the train's leaving the station, there we go, I got confused. Ginyu looks amazing. Like, Ginyu looks like the absolute strongest character in the game when everything's going good. But when it's not, he's not really a character that can pull back from a deficit too well. So mid-tier, a little bit has faults. I don't think he's bad, but he is where he is. For characters like Trunks here, Cell, Krillin, they all got changed, but I don't really feel it moves the needle really, so I'm very comfortable leaving them where they were originally. And with the Unchanged note here, Nappa obviously he has a lot of new combo routes with the Cyberman change. And I think his neutral is a little bit better than it used to be due to the Cyberman plant. You don't have to burn a bar to have like more realistically Cyberman screen as a threat. But in the end, very few characters categorized has faults more than Nappa, including Zamasu, who we still got to find a home for yet, but we'll get to him. But Nappa, good change. It helps, but doesn't move the needle, in my opinion. Base Vegeta, much the same here. Just kind of, he is where he is. I still think he's quite good. I still think he has some faults, but he's certainly solid. Now, we have a problem here with Zamasu because we redid everything and that's all good. And I don't really had an issue with him being where he was, but here we go. You think that reads on a tier list from Zamasu right there? No, it doesn't really read on a tier list. So we do have to find him a home. And basically, we're just going to do it like this here. So now for Zamasu, what we're going to do here, mostly on the back of Android 16 here, because once again, he went down a tier, yes. His utility got nerfed big time with like the quarter circle forward blast no longer being neutral on block. That was never a change that was mentioned, but it's not neutral on block anymore. It actually is negative, the level 3 nerf and all that. His overall utility, especially with the assist going down, it has been hurt, so we're just going to move him now slightly to has faults. And Zamasu is just going to be here snugly. Certainly always a decent character. And just snugly here in mid-tier. And there you have it. So that is currently my tier list for basically the end of Season 1. Because whenever another balance patch comes, it'll probably be on the head of Season 2. And there'll probably be quite a few big changes, right? That could just change everything what we know about the game. I don't know yet. We'll find out, I guess. So once again, this is my personal opinion. You don't have to agree. but you could. It'd be nice, right? But this is where I just think the game is. I know there's a couple things here like, oh my god, how could he say that? What's usually the one people usually get mad at Krillin, right? Krillin, I usually have him a lot higher than most people, and I don't have him as high as some people would like. If you're watching, you know who I'm talking to. But it is what it is. It's always an opinion-based thing. So let me know what you like, what you didn't like, all that kind of fun stuff. And that's it for this video. So thank you very much for watching. I hope this video has found you well. Go and play some Dragon Ball.